this is the first lesson, that is New Economic Policy 1991. I am just revising for your convenience. New Economic Policy 1991, Module 1, Lesson 1. Module 1 is having 4 lessons and any 3 questions you will be getting in your examination. Out of these 3 questions, you have to solve any 2 questions. This is what is the pattern. Fine. So now we will this is the first lesson. तो first lesson है, इसका मतलब यह है कि इसके ऊपर भी question किया जा सकता है. तो what question they can ask? The question can be, what are the rationale of new economic policy NEP 1991? Rationale का मतलब है reasons. And another question they can ask, important policy changes NEP 1991. This is a big question where we have to include so many things. So these are the 2 questions they can ask. So in important policy changes में we have to give the structural reforms, and structural reforms में there are 4 points. In that we discussed already 3 points: industrial reforms, public sector reforms, and disinvestment, trade and capital flows reforms, and financial sector reforms. हम लोगों का फाइनेंशियल सेक्टर रिफॉर्म्स रह गया है एक्सप्लेन करने का. टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू कंप्लीट इट. ओके, so now let me revise so that you will understand and you will get the gist of this. The 1991 is one of the really very important year or significant year in the economic history of India. I repeatedly told that India growth story started after 1991. Before 1991 and after 1991, lots of changes are there in Indian economy. Okay, some introduction you have to give like this. Since 1951, India adopted 5-year plans, and the economy was a mixed economy, like government, like public sector and private sector, and government was taking lot of decisions about industries, about everything. As you all know that every economy is divided into 3 sectors: primary, secondary, tertiary. So when we started our first 5-year plan, the entire attention was towards agriculture only. So agriculture was very important. So the first 5-year plan was called as agrarian plan. That means primary sector was given more importance. But about the secondary sector, second 5-year plan से secondary sector पे ज़्यादा focus किया गया था. And then government realized that कि 1991 तक government को realization हो गया था कि we have to focus on tertiary sector also, because tertiary sector is creating more and more job opportunities. And then the tertiary sector also started developing. So before 1991, what was the position in India? India was an underdeveloped country with lots of problem of poverty, unemployment, inequality, and all those things. Every public sector was playing major role, government was playing major role, government was giving employment opportunities, then government was giving goods and services at a very concessional rate. ये सब होता है तो क्या हो गया था? There was a lot of burden on the economy, or burden on the taxpayer, because what happened that when government wanted to give the services at very low cost, then what is happening is that there are lots of losses. बिकॉज अभी देखो गवर्नमेंट गवर्नमेंट के शॉप्स में जो भी कमोडिटीज़ रहती है दैट इज़ वेरी चीप कमोडिटीज़, राइट. तो ये गवर्नमेंट को परवड़ता कैसा है? गवर्नमेंट अपने खुद के पैसे से उसमें ज़्यादा सब्सिडी वगैरह देती है. दैट मीन्स गवर्नमेंट इज़ बेयरिंग द लॉसेस, बिकॉज गवर्नमेंट इज़ ऑलवेज सर्विस गिविंग सेक्टर, बट प्राइवेट सेक्टर्स आर प्रॉफिट ओरिएंटेड. तो ये हो रहा था अपने इकोनॉमी में, बहुत सारी चीज़ें ये हो रही थी. एंड देन 1980s में एक LPG जो होता है, लिबरलाइजेशन, प्राइवेटाइजेशन, ग्लोबलाइजेशन का सब जगह पूरा विश्व में ये आया था कि दैट इज़ लाइक LPG. देन गवर्नमेंट इन आवर कंट्री ऑल्सो the government realized that we can't step small, we have taken very small steps. We have taken very small steps, and they are not enough for the development of the country. So because the small steps did not make any significant difference in the economy's functioning. And then in 1991, government has taken the major step of introducing the far-reaching reform programs, and these reforms are called as new economic policy. ये इंट्रोडक्शन में आना चाहिए. न्यू रिफॉर्म्स आर कॉल्ड एज these new reforms are called as new economic policy. अभी the reasons for new economic policy, we discuss only 3 reasons you have to give. Only 3 reasons you have to give for new economic policy, that rationale of new economic policy. Number 1, fiscal crisis. Number 2, balance of payment crisis. Number 3, high inflationary pressure. Okay, तो fiscal crisis मतलब क्या होता है? That I explained it to you already. Just I am revising those points. The fiscal situation in India was very, very bad since 1980s. Because of there was a lot of great gap between revenue and the expenditure of the government. So fiscal crisis are coming only because of the great difference between revenue and expenditure. That means expenditure is very, very high and revenue is very, very low. That is why fiscal crisis are coming. Fiscal deficit rose to 7.7% of GDP in 1991. And the internal debt of the central government was 48.6% of the GDP in 1991. The interest burden of the government also increased to 29% of revenue expenditure, and the high fiscal deficit was responsible for, or we can say that is one of the root cause of the crisis before 1991. There was a crisis. And to reducing this crisis of fiscal deficit, government has taken a very important step, that is the new economic policy. So reducing the fiscal deficit was an important macroeconomic objective of new economic policy 1991. So this is about the first reason of new economic policy. The second reason we discussed, that is balance of payment crisis. The Gulf crisis was responsible for the balance of payment crisis. The balance of payment crisis reached to the peak when the foreign exchange reserve had fallen to about $1 billion US. Just listen properly. Foreign exchange reserves had fallen to $1 billion US. And the payment crisis becomes really very high when the oil prices increase because of the Gulf War. Because of the Gulf War, the current account deficit increased to 9.7 billion US dollars. That is 3.2 of the GDP 1991. And we can say that India's access to the commercial borrowings from abroad totally dried up, and the balance of payment crisis had become the crisis of confidence, that is absence of confidence in the government's ability to manage the balance of payment problem. That is the second reason why the new economic policy adopted. The third reason, high inflationary pressure. What is the meaning of inflation? Inflation is there is a rise in price rises. So that is what is called as inflation. तो क्या situation था हमारे country में? The annual rate inflation rate was 8.2% during the period of 81-82. I told you that when there is a double-digit inflation, that makes a problem. We have discussed already that single-digit inflation, double-digit inflation. There is a walking inflation, there is a running inflation, that we all have discussed. So when the inflation crosses double-digit mark, it is a problem for the economy. So in India, what happened in 91-92, the inflation rose up to 10.2%, and 94-95 it rose up to 14%. That means inflation was a great problem. And to control the prices, government realized that we should have a policy which can control the situation. Okay, this is what you have to write in the new rationale of new economic policy 1991. These are the three reasons. अभी देखो ये तीन रीज़न जो है, कौन से तीन रीज़न मैंने बताया? फिजिकल क्राइसिस, बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट क्राइसिस एंड हाई इन्फ्लेशनरी प्रेशर. अभी इसको पॉलिसी चेंज में कैसे किया है देखो. पॉलिसी चेंजेस, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन आता है इंपॉर्टेंट पॉलिसी चेंजेस इन इंडिया. अभी पहला उसमें मेजर कौन सा है? मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक स्टेबिलाइजेशन में कंट्रोल ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन. मतलब जो कॉज है, द विच एवर इज द कॉज, मेजर इज अब अगेंस्ट अपोजिट ऑफ दैट. व्हाट इज द कॉज? हाई इन्फ्लेशनरी प्रेशर. तो व्हाट इज द मेजर? कंट्रोल ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन. आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग? ये जो तीन कॉज तुमने देखे हैं ना, उसका ही मेजर अपोजिट होता है. Understand this point. So high inflationary pressure is the cause for new economic policy and control of inflation is the measure. Then fiscal deficit or fiscal crisis, first cause of this new economic policy, and the second measure is fiscal correction. Fiscal correct करना है. Correction is what? Correct action. So correct action about fiscal. Fiscal is what? Tax, right? So this reason is fiscal crisis, measure is fiscal correction. Second cause we discuss balance of payment crisis. अभी measure में क्या आता है? Improvement in balance of payment position. So ये अगर smart way से तुम देखोगे तो this is very easy. The causes are there, opposite to that measures are there. Very simple. To understand this thing you must know this. तीन causes देखे हमने NEP के, नेशनल न्यू इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसी 1991 के. नंबर 1 फिजिकल क्राइसिस, नंबर 2 बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट क्राइसिस, नंबर 3 हाई इन्फ्लेशनरी प्रेशर. दीज आर द थ्री कॉजेस. अभी मेजर्स क्या किया है? नंबर 1 कंट्रोल ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन, बिकॉज हाई इन्फ्लेशनरी प्रेशर है तो इन्फ्लेशन कंट्रोल करना है. सेकंड वन फिजिकल कंट्रोल, फिजिकल करेक्शन. फिजिकल क्राइसिस के अगेंस्ट क्या है? फिजिकल करेक्शन है. बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट क्राइसिस के अगेंस्ट क्या है? इम्प्रूवमेंट ऑफ बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट पोजीशन. तो ये अगर तुम ध्यान में रखोगे ना तो तुम लोगों को लिखने को भी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगा. सो नाउ वी विल डिस्कस द मेजर्स. अभी मेजर्स में जैसे मैंने बोला, पहला है कंट्रोल ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन. इन्फ्लेशन कंट्रोल करना, दैट वाज अ वेरी ग्रेट चैलेंज टू द government because it was crossing double digit, as we discussed that 14% inflation was there, and to control the inflation government has to take various steps. इसमें कौन से steps लिए government ने? Fiscal and monetary policies. Fiscal is about tax, always remember, fiscal is about tax, monetary is about money. So fiscal policy is coming under government. Monetary policy, that is money policy, both the policies are responsible to control the inflation rate. So fiscal and monetary policies were undertaken to bring down the high inflation rate. Fiscal deficit was brought down to from 7.7% of GDP in 1990 to 4.9% in 95-96. अभी देखो, मतलब 7.7% से 4.9 तक जो इन्फ्लेशन था वो कंट्रोल में लाया था. तो कैसे ये हो गया? बिकॉज RBI, रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, कंटिन्यूड विद द टाइट मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी. कैसे मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी? मतलब पैसा इकोनॉमी में ज़्यादा नहीं आना चाहिए. मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी इज़ लाइक मनी एंड विच इज़ ऑलवेज कंट्रोल्ड बाय RBI. तो मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी वो कैसे टाइट किया? कैसे, जब हम लोग क्या करते हैं, जब लोन्स कॉस्टली होते हैं, वी डोंट गो फॉर लोन्स, right? So that is only the thing that government, this RBI can do. So RBI, what they have done, they make the borrowing costlier. Borrowing costly कर दिया. कैसे कर दिया? By increasing the bank rate, by increasing the CRR, by increasing the SLR, etc. तो इसकी वजह से क्या हो गया? फिर loans becomes very very costly. People don't go for that, and that is how the inflation can be controlled. So SLR, CRR, bank rate, they are raised by RBI and the inflation was controlled. Now understand one point, मैंने जो बोला था 94-95 में inflation rate was 14%. वही 95-96 में government can brought down the inflation rate to 4.6%. So understand, this is how the monetary policy and the fiscal policy worked after 1991, when the government realized we have to control the inflation, government has taken the step that is control of inflation. So that 4.6% is like something which can be controlled by the government by this thing. So that is how the first point you have, major you have to write, control of inflation. सेकंड फिजिकल करेक्शन, हमने फिजिकल डेफिसिट देखा था, फिजिकल क्राइसिस देखा था, नंबर 1 कॉज. अभी फिजिकल करेक्शन गवर्नमेंट ने कैसे किया है? व्हेन देयर इज अ फिजिकल इम्बैलेंस, लाइक समटाइम्स एक्सपेंडिचर इज़ वेरी हाई एंड द इनकम इज़ वेरी वेरी लो. ये ऐसे क्यों होता है? कभी कभी गवर्नमेंट क्या करता है कि द लोन्स आर गिवन टू द नॉन प्रोडक्टिव एक्टिविटी ऑल्सो. तो गवर्नमेंट ने क्या किया? गवर्नमेंट्स इंट्रोड्यूस एक्सपेंडिचर रिफॉर्म्स टू रिड्यूस नॉन प्रोडक्टिव पब्लिक एक्सपेंडिचर बाय कटिंग डाउन सब्सिडीज, डिफेंस एक्सपेंडिचर, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एक्सपेंडिचर एक्सेट्रा. दैट मीन्स नॉन प्रोडक्टिव पर ज़्यादा ये लोन्स देना नहीं है. That is what government realized. So this is how, this is, you can write these things, that fiscal reforms were introduced to correct the fiscal imbalance, and government introduced the expenditure reforms also to reduce the non-productive public expenditure by cutting down subsidies, by cutting down defense expenditure, by cutting down administrative expenditures, etc. And then apart from that, many measures also taken to increase the tax revenue थ्रू टैक्स रिफॉर्म्स. अगेन रिफॉर्म्स, ये हमेशा तुम्हारे दिमाग में रहना चाहिए. रिफॉर्म का मीनिंग है जो फॉर्म है उसको चेंज किया, जो पहला फॉर्म है उसको चेंज करते उसको रिफॉर्म्स बोलते हैं. करेक्शन मतलब करेक्ट एक्शन. दीज थिंग्स आई ऑलवेज रिपीट, सो यू ऑल्सो हैव टू गिव इन योर आंसर. Okay, so government has taken many reforms in the tax. Taxes were rationalized and simplified. एकदम टैक्स सिंप्लीफाइड कर दिया था. द मैक्सिमम रेट ऑफ पर्सनल टैक्स हैज़ कम डाउन फ्रॉम 56% to 30%. अभी देखो, पहले 56% था एंड इन 97-98 इट हैज़ कम डाउन टू 30%. Okay, then apart from that you can write that the corporation tax of Indian companies, which varied from 51% to 57%, depending upon the nature of the company, has unified and reduced to 35%. मतलब अभी सब लोगों को एक ही टैक्स दिया था 35%, जो पहले 51% या 57% था. नाउ व्हेन द टैक्स इज कट डाउन, व्हाट इज हैपनिंग? देखो, सिंपल एग्जांपल मैं बोलती हूँ. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल आई हैव टू पे 50,000 रुपीज़ टैक्स टू द गवर्नमेंट. तो इससे क्या होता है? मेरा 50,000 रुपीज़ का मेरा कंजम्पशन कम होता है. आई कैन 50,000 में मैं कुछ भी कर सकती हूँ, मैं कंज्यूम कर सकती हूँ, या आई कैन इन्वेस्ट दैट मनी, आई कैन सेव दैट मनी, एनीथिंग आई कैन डू. बट आई कांट डू दैट व्हेन आई एम गिविंग इट टू गवर्नमेंट, राइट? तो यही ध्यान में रखना है. व्हेन द कॉर्पोरेशन टैक्स ऑल्सो रिड्यूस फ्रॉम 57% टू 35%, मतलब इतना पैसा इकोनॉमी में रहता है, सो दैट मोर मनी कैन बी क्रिएटेड. And the maximum rate of custom duty, which was very high to 250% before the reforms, had been reduced to 40% in 97-98. तो 40% तक ये कस्टम ड्यूटी कम किया गया. एंड 94-95 में सर्विस टैक्स वॉज इंट्रोड्यूस. सो दिस इज़ वॉट यू हैव टू राइट अबाउट द फिजिकल करेक्शन. तो उसकी वजह से क्या हो गया? इकोनॉमी में ज़्यादा पैसा आया. ज़्यादा पैसा आता है, लोग प्रोडक्शन शुरू करते हैं. प्रोडक्शन शुरू करते हैं तो ज़्यादा लोगों को काम पे लेते हैं. व्हेन दे गेट द एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटी, दे अर्न मनी. व्हेन दे अर्न मनी, दे डिमांड गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज. सो मोर people can be appointed in the for the work. So more people are earning money and economy is going to the upward situation. This is what you have to write about the fiscal correction. नंबर 3, बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट एडजस्टमेंट. अभी कॉज में हमने देखा था बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट क्राइसिस. अभी मेजर में हम देख रहे हैं बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट एडजस्टमेंट. सो वेरियस मेजर्स वेर टेकन टू इम्प्रूव द बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट पोजिशन. Then India adopted unified exchange rate system in 93-94, and India moved to manage floating exchange rate system. Then efforts were made to increase the export. तो क्या किया था? तो in order to bring out the technological upgradation in the export sectors, imports were liberalized. And non-debt creating foreign inflows were encouraged. in the form of foreign direct investment and portfolio investment in the country. So these are the measures, they help to improve the balance of payment position of the country. This is what is the 2 points that we have discussed. Number 1 point we discussed, that is rationale of new economic policy, causes of new economic policy, and second point we discussed macroeconomic stabilization or measures, इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉलिसी चेंजेस इन 1991. इसमें पहले 3 मेजर हमने देखे थे, कंट्रोल ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन, फिजिकल करेक्शन, इम्प्रूवमेंट इन बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट पोजीशन. अभी सेकंड मेजर, ये 3 मेजर्स है, उसको मैक्रो स्टेबलाइजेशन, डिमांड साइड मैनेजमेंट बोलते हैं. डिमांड मैनेजमेंट, इसमें डिमांड कैसे ज़्यादा बढ़ जाएगा इकोनॉमी में, एंड इकोनॉमी कैसे अपवर्ड जाएगी, अपवर्ड पोजीशन में जाएगी, रिसेशन कम होगा, ऑल दोज थिंग्स आर कमिंग अंडर दिस. अभी वी हैव टू डिस्कस अबाउट द सप्लाई साइड मैनेजमेंट. These 3 reforms are from demand side management. अभी supply side management में structural reforms क्या क्या थे, उसमें से 3 reforms हमने already discuss किए थे. Industrial reforms, second public sector reforms and disinvestment, third trade capital flows reforms, यहाँ तक हमारा हुआ था, and the last is financial sector reform that I am going to cover now. So just I am revising industrial sector reforms. Industrial sector reforms से मैंने तुम लोगों को बोला था, there were 4 measures government has taken. The industrial development of the country was influenced by the industrial policy resolution 1948 and 1956. Then the government new industrial policy was NIP was announced by the government in 1991. I told you that कि NEP NIP कोई confusion नहीं होना चाहिए. NEP is new economic policy, NIP is new industrial policy. अभी next में तो हमको NAP भी देखना है, new agricultural policy. So all those things are like totally, don't get confused with that. Be sure that when you are writing NIP, that is new industrial policy, NEP, that is new economic policy. So new industrial policy 1991 was declared by the government, and the important industrial sector reforms introduced in 1991. पहला reform था abolition of industrial licensing, and as I told you that the new policy abolished the industrial licensing for all the industries except 18 industries, and at present there are only 5 industries under compulsory licensing. I mentioned the name also, that they are alcohol, cigarette, hazardous chemicals, electronic, aerospace and defense equipment, and industrial explosives. These are the industries. For them licensing is important. License are important. They have to have the license to start such industries. Other industries are free to open. So government has given a great boost to the new industries, for the development of the industries. Then second, I told that permitted foreign investment and foreign technology. This new industrial policy encouraged the foreign direct investment and foreign technology. Then the FDI previously was allowed up to only 51%. Subsequently, the limit was increased to 100% for many industries. Then the third point I told you, reduce the role of public sector. Like I told that public sectors, they are not performing properly. Sometimes there is a problem because of they are service oriented, they are not profit oriented organization. They are giving everything at concessional rate and all those stuff. And that is why public sector are not performing properly. They have a very high losses and all. So government realized that public sector का role कम होना चाहिए. Public sector is what? Everything is owned and controlled by the government. So government ने क्या किया? The new policy reduced the number of industries reserved for public sector from 17 to 3. अभी public sector में only 3 industries are there. Number 1, atomic energy. Number 2, substance notified by the Department of Atomic Energy, and 3, railway transport. These are the 3 industries government kept with the government, and other industries are totally open for the private sector. Okay, they are opened up for the private sector. So this is the second reform of NIP, New Industrial Policy 1991, and the next one is removal of MRTP Act. MRTP का full form, the Monopoly and Restrictive Trade Practices Act. ये क्या होता था? Under the Monopoly and Restrictive Trade Practices Act, large companies with assets of 100 crores and above were not allowed to expand their activities without government permission. गवर्नमेंट के परमिशंस के सिवा इन लोगों को एक्सपांशन नहीं होता था. तो दैट रिस्ट्रिक्टेड देयर ग्रोथ, that restricted their expansion, that restricted their efficiency, and that is why the new this new industrial policy removed this limit, that 100 crores का limit उन्होंने निकाल दिया. This eliminated the requirement of prior approval of government for large industrial houses for expansion, establishment of new undertakings, mergers, takeovers. So all those things were possible for these industries, and that is how you have to write about this removal of MRTP Act. What you have to understand here is that government removed that 100 crores का जो उन्होंने ये रखा था asset of 100 crores, and they have to take, they were not allowed to expand their activities without government permission. That threshold, that limit was removed by the government. So that has given a great boost to the industries to develop. So these are the 4 points that you have to write under the industrial reforms. Number 1, abolition of industrial licensing. Number 2, permitted foreign investment and foreign technology. Number 3, reduce the role of public sector. And number 4, removal of MRTP Act. अभी ये एक पॉइंट में आ गया, रिफॉर्म का एक पॉइंट हमने देखा. कौन सा रिफॉर्म्स का? स्ट्रक्चरल रिफॉर्म्स का एक पॉइंट देखा. स्ट्रक्चरल रिफॉर्म्स, स्ट्रक्चर चेंज करना चाहिए, इसके लिए इंडस्ट्रियल रिफॉर्म्स पहला है, उसमें हमने 4 पॉइंट देखे. अभी सेकंड इज पब्लिक सेक्टर रिफॉर्म्स एंड डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट. दैट इज़ वेरी शॉर्ट. पब्लिक सेक्टर रिफॉर्म्स, पब्लिक सेक्टर मतलब जैसे अभी मैंने बताया, एवरीथिंग इज ओन्ड एंड कंट्रोल्ड बाय द गवर्नमेंट. सो द पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइजेस कॉन्स्टिट्यूट द मेजर सेगमेंट ऑफ इंडस्ट्रियल एक्टिविटी इन इंडिया. But the performance of public sector was not good. They were suffering from losses. There is a fall of efficiency, and that is causing a drain in government's budget and all. So now new this new industrial policy have been have done major changes in public sector policy, public sector enterprises. In that you have to write that the public sector reforms consisted, the main thing, that is the disinvestment. Disinvestment, the meaning of disinvestment, I told you that कि जो government का जो organization है, the owned and control of the government is there, that is going to the private sector. But somewhere it is going partially, somewhere it is going fully. So it is totally depending upon the government's policy. So disinvestment का meaning तुम कैसे दे सकते हो? Disinvestment consists of involving the sale of portion of government equity. So involving government, the public sector consisted of disinvestment. That means involving the sale of portion of government equity in public sector enterprises while retaining majority control with the government, because to attempt to improve the performance of public sector. And other measures introduced, like raising of the fresh equity directly by the public sector from the market, greater competition from the new private enterprises, giving greater financial and operational autonomy to the public enterprises. That means government wanted to give more and more encouragement to the private sector through disinvestment. So government wanted to restrict their role and giving more and more hand to the private sector. This is what you have to write about in the second point. And the third point is trade and capital flows reforms. So the government wanted to increase the capital flow in the economy. तो कैसे कैपिटल फ्लो आएगा इकोनॉमी में? उसमें गवर्नमेंट ने मेजर लिए थे लिबरलाइजेशन ऑफ इंपोर्ट्स, लाइक इंपोर्ट कंट्रोल्स वेर वर्चुअली एबॉलिश्ड एक्सेप्ट फॉर सम कंज्यूमर गुड. Then reduction of tariff structure, the import duty on non-agricultural products were reduced from 300% to 150%, and further it is lowered to 20%, and now it is in 2007 and 8 it was 10%. So tariff structure भी change हो गया. Promotion of export, various incentives are provided to the exporters in the foreign trade policies of the government. Then change in exchange rate policy. RBI intervenes in the foreign exchange market to reduce the excess volatility in the foreign exchange market, to stabilize the exchange rate of rupees. That is because if the rupee is stable, then only the market there will be a stable growth in the economy, and that is why to control that exchange rate, RBI also intervened in that. Then government also introduced current account convertibility, they liberalized the capital inflows, and with these efforts, there was a we can say that improvement in the Indian economy. So till this we discussed in the last lecture. So today I am going to start with the next point, that is financial sector reforms. Now financial sector reforms, in that there are again I think we are running out of time, it is already 55. Okay, so in the next lecture I'll immediately start with financial sector reforms. Students, what I want to do is that I will be playing the video which I told you right now, so listen to that, and just if there is any problem in listening or any thing is there, just let me know. You can put that in the message. I am just putting the video so that you all will watch. If you have your video in your phone, you can watch that. Just I am starting that for you. Just a minute. Unemployment, inequality. Public sector enterprises played a very significant role in creating employment and providing several goods and services at low cost. But they had their own problems, like they were making losses and they become a burden to the taxpayers. And that is why in 1980, the government had begun to bring some measures of liberalization of the economy. But unfortunately, these measures were also small steps and they did not make any significant difference. So all this changed in 1991 when the government took the major step of introducing far-reaching reforms, and these reforms are called as New Economic Policy. So this is the introduction for this question, the rationale of New Economic Policy. Now we will start. Which are the 3 points? Which are the 3 reasons for New Economic Policy? Number 1, fiscal crisis. Number 2, balance of payment crisis. And number 3, high inflationary pressure. These are the 3 reasons. These are the 3 pointers. In economics, always you have to give points and then explanation. Your explanation can be in 1 or 2 lines, not more than that, but the pointers are important. The first point, fiscal crisis. The fiscal situation had been under tremendous pressure, especially since 1980s. The fiscal deficit rose to 7.7% of GDP in 1991. The internal debt of the central government was 48.6% of the GDP in 1991. The interest burden of government rose up to 29% of revenue expenditure. That is really very, very high. And the high fiscal deficit in 1980 was one of the important causes of the crisis of 1991. Now, reducing fiscal deficit was an important macroeconomic objective of New Economic Policy. So this is about the fiscal crisis. Now the second point, balance of payment crisis. Balance of payment crisis reached to its peak in 1991 when the foreign exchange reserves had fallen about $1 billion. The oil prices, the Gulf prices increased due to the Gulf War. The current account deficit, which rose to $9.7 billion, that is 3.2% of GDP in 1991. India's access to commercial borrowings from abroad totally dried up. The balance of payment crisis had become the crisis of confidence in the government's ability to manage the balance of payment problem. And that is why the New Economic Policy 1991 was announced by the government. the last point, that is high inflationary pressure. What do you mean by inflation? Inflation is nothing but rise in the price. The inflation in our country before 1991 was like the wholesale prices in India rose to an annual rate of 8.2% during the period of 81-82 to 93-94. And in 1991, the rate of inflation crossed double-digit mark. It stood to 10.2%. When in any of the economy, when inflation crosses double-digit mark, it becomes a problem for the economy and for the country. In 1994, this rose up to 14%. So the inflation was very high, and to control the inflation, new economic policy was announced by the government. So students understand this is a question that reasons of new economic policy, in that you have to give 3 points: fiscal crisis, balance of payment crisis, and high inflationary pressure. Now let us move to the next point. What are the important policy changes in 1991? This is a question. This can be asked like this way. Explain the new economic policy changes, important changes and effects on Indian economy. So in all we are going to discuss. Next, the new government under the Prime Ministership of P.V. Narasimha Rao, which assumed office in June 1991, took the various policy measures. They relied on the combination of macroeconomic stabilization and structural reforms in industrial and trade policy. They are popularly termed as LPG. Together, these policies resulted in liberalization, privatization and globalization of Indian economy. Now we have to divide it into two parts. One, macro